and welcome to a special occasion of this Cricket Predictor brought to you by OneXBet and Womeki Infrastructure, Delhi. Today, we are discussing the match that happened yesterday between the defending champions, Kolkata Knight Riders, and your Mumbai Indians in the heart of Wankhede. But more importantly, let's also shift our focus to today's match, which is going to be played at the Ekana Stadium with Lucknow Super Giants and Punjab. But again, we must talk to our experts about the last night's match and then move on to the match today. Well, Paul, yesterday was a phenomena called Ashwini Kumar. The guy from Mohali was absolutely devastating in his spell today. In fact, he became the first Indian bowler to get those figures, and he bowled only 3 overs but took 4 wickets. What do you make up of him?
Well, how much satisfaction would that have given the think tank at the Mumbai Indians? I hope some analyst was responsible for them signing Ashwani Kumar or picking Ashwani Kumar up at the auction for just 30 lakhs. What an incredible debut. Takes the catch off Quinton de Kock, a nice firm catch at mid-off, then 4 wickets. Rahane, Rinku Singh, just as Manish Pandey looked like he might be making a bit of a, giving the KKR a bit of a comeback. He gets him out. And then to complete it all, Andre Russell, who, some people say is the greatest T20 cricketer of all time. Left armour, pretty quick, not express pace, but sharp enough. Good control of length, moves the ball around a little bit. And the impressive thing was he's made his name, such as it is in his short career, as a death bowler. So he was doing something that he's not necessarily even his strongest suit. So fantastic debut. Obviously, don't need to get carried away. There are plenty of debuts where players haven't kicked on, but couldn't have started much more impressively.
Well, Paul, you've analysed the game very closely, and if you were to put your finger on the pulse and find out what was the actual problem for KKR's collapse?
Well, obviously, Ashwani Kumar was superb, but, I think that you'd say Sunil Narine, normally at the top of the order, gets them off to a great start. His first game back this season, and Trent Boult, just too good, too much of a fantastic Yorker. Quinton de Kock just sort of slapped one. The free fall was taking place. I think that Mumbai bowled well. I think Hardik Pandya bowled pretty well as well. Boult always bowls well. Mitchell Santner was pretty good. Maybe the Wankhede pitch wasn't quite the belter that they might have thought it was. And that's sometimes the challenge of batting first, that when you think that you need, especially in the IPL in recent times, that 200 might not be enough. Sometimes you can to get a score that if you've been able to see the pitch in action first, it might not have actually been a pitch where that type of score was necessarily possible. But it's the way of T20. Sometimes we saw it with Sunrisers Hyderabad a couple of times already, that a couple of wickets start falling, you're encouraged to keep on playing hard, and it can all unravel pretty quickly.
Thank you, Paul. Well, we move on to our third question, and it's very pointed. Mumbai Indians faced several problems. Their team, they had too many skippers in the game, and finally now they seem to be settling. Is it a good sign for the team to come back into the top 4?
Well, absolutely. And probably more to the point, imagine what a third loss would have done to their confidence. It would have felt like that their entire season was in jeopardy and was on the verge of being a full-blown crisis. So they can take a deep breath and say, okay, we've got a win on the board. We're getting into the season. And also the manner of the win. There were some really pleasing aspects to it. Obviously, Ashwani Kumar was a highlight, but I think Ryan Rickleton's performance will give them enormous satisfaction. They knew he's a good player, but just to get that first decent performance underway after a slightly shaky start in the innings, to have come home so solidly will give them great satisfaction. Even Surya Kumar Yadav just coming up there and doing that thing where he hoiks the ball in his idiosyncratic way, sort of like a hook come ramp shot over back deep fine leg for 6 a few times. That was very pleasing. The Rohit Sharma not scoring was a little bit disappointing, but I don't think they're that worried about him. I think he's a classy player and he'll come through. So yeah, finally a nice night for Mumbai Indians in IPL 2025.
Stanley, welcome to the show. Of course, our viewers know him. Stanley has been a part of our previous occasion of Cricket Predictor last year. He joins us today straight from Dubai. Stanley, welcome to the show. Will the aggressive approach of PBKS under Ricky Ponting and Shreyas Iyer threaten LSG? Of course, you must realize that Shreyas Iyer moved from KKR to Punjab Kings for a title under their belt. Do you think this combination is going to make some impact?
Good morning, Sunil, and thank you once again for having me on the show. Well, the Punjab Kings, they are an old brand in terms of the name. However, they are a new team altogether. They've gone and done lots and lots of soul searching. They've come in with new additions, plenty of additions to their squad. And one thing that they've done very well is they've managed to get high strike rate batters for that middle period. And one thing is for sure, the captain himself, Shreyas Iyer, leading from the front with a magnificent 97 over the Gujarat Titans in their first match, and that led them to a fantastic victory. However, talking about the LSG, they will be looking, just like any other team in this tournament will have done a SWOT analysis, trying to assess the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of how to approach any team. One thing that LSG would be talking about heavily in their dressing room would have been their bowling, especially versus the match versus Sunrisers, where they had 2 early wickets, but they allowed the Sunrisers to claw back in that middle period to allow them to get to that 190. Now, when you're playing a team with a strong batting lineup with high strike rates, such as the Punjab Kings, you cannot allow a team of that nature to claw back into the team. Why? They've got boundary hitters in the middle period. Now, how often have we seen matches won in a T20 match batting wise? But if you've got a strong middle period, you can claw back, you can strengthen and get yourself back into a good position and tee off at the backhand. How often have we seen matches get a good start in the power play, batting, and then the middle order comes and just piles onto that good start, and hence you get those big scores of 230 plus. This is the team that can do this, pretty much like what the Sunrisers can do. This is the team that has the arsenal. Performance is one thing, but they do have the arsenal on paper. So the LSG will be thinking about making sure that they tighten up their bowling and make sure once they get in early inroads into such a batting lineup, they make sure that they finish the job off.
Stanley, after the mega auction overall, the team's composition, the grammar, the DNA, everything, the fabric looks completely different, barring 1 or 2 teams like CSK and Mumbai Indians. Do you think this year's Punjab Kings look quite different from the previous edition of the team composition and their approach of play?
If the Punjab Kings were a motor vehicle, Sunil, this is a vehicle that has just received an engine overhaul, a total engine overhaul, only retaining 2 players from last season. The only one team to have done better is RCB, retaining 3. Now, the difference from yesteryear to this year, the aggression, that's the brand they want to take. That's the roadmap. That's the culture they want to take and move forward. And that has just been witnessed even from the very beginning, from the start, in terms of the match that they played first versus the Gujarat Titans, scoring 243 runs for 5 wickets. Okay? There's only one bowler who stood out for Titans that match, the left-arm spinner, Sai Kishore, taking 3 for 30 with an economy of under 8. He was the only bowler to go under 8. Everybody else over 10. Right? So such is the brand of cricket, and they're showing it since the match number 1. So they've beefed up that middle order. They've gotten big hitters, Marcus Stoinis, Omazai, fantastic all-rounder, Glenn Maxwell, who's still to see the best of him. He hasn't done very well in the last IPL. Okay, so they've gone and gotten the arsenal to back the brand of cricket that they want to play, and they've showed hints of it. And not all batsmen have had the opportunity to bat long, but now we know matches are won and lost in that middle period. You can have a good start, but if you falter in the middle period, you're destined for doom. You can have a poor start, but if your middle period is such that it's good enough and then you tee off at the backhand, you can get a score that's good. So this is the batting lineup that is set up for such scenarios. This is the sort of batting lineup that is set up for also those 230 plus scores, everybody playing according to their strength and to their role. So I'm looking forward to seeing this team in action. I know everybody's been talking about the SRH and how they go about the things. Yes, it's been tried and tested, but let's see. I think this is a team that has something special, and they could be a threat
Stanley, we've spoken about the coach and the captain partnership, but the skipper, Shreyas Iyer, hasn't been doing bad either. I mean, he's got some runs under his belt. He's got a trophy from last year, and he's got great heart to prove himself yet again in a new team altogether.
Yeah. So, Neil, nothing helps in terms of getting the captaincy job, but up and above that, being informed yourself. A good start for Shreyas Iyer, but he has natural attributes that really work for him. He's an aggressive player. He's a positive player. He's coming in from the back end of winning a championship with KKR. So all this is working in his favor. Fantastic start to the season already with the bat, scoring 97 in that chase of over 200 versus the Gujarat Titans, and him making sure that the team gets over the line. So when you're in that kind of space, it makes the job easier. You're looking for areas to get better in a winning cause as opposed to being in a losing cause, and you're not informed. So you're looking to start thinking about your own game. Up and above that, you also have to be concerned about getting the team together and look for ways to improve. So he's a natural player. He's an aggressive player. And I think it's a fantastic combination between Shreyas Iyer and Ricky Ponting, the head coach. Up and above that, he's got natural, aggressive players in Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, Loki Ferguson, players who can actually feed off because there's plenty of experience in there. So he's got plenty of people around him, who are experienced, where he doesn't have to be too concerned about their style of play, but he's just concerned in terms of getting the best out of. So I think it's a good time to be captaining a new team for Shreyas Iyer. Obviously, it's a different environment, but such is the nature of how the game of cricket, especially playing for leagues, is concerned and going forward. It's a new challenge for him, and I think it's one that he is really looking forward to.
Thank you, Stanley. Stanley, the coach from Zimbabwe, who's currently in Dubai, talking to us about the overall composition of the previous part. Again, we are joined by, I welcome Anil Chaudhary on the show. Anil, as we all know, is the most acclaimed umpire with this slow death, as they call him, with his finger going up in the air and getting the biggest players out. Coming back to Anil. Anil, there's been a huge mega auction happening, and some teams have settled, the others haven't. Some skippers have settled, the others haven't. Do you think Rishabh Pant, you've known him very closely, do you think Rishabh Pant needs more time to settle, or do you think he's just settled in?
Lucknow badly need Rishabh Pant, because once he is in normal flow, because his style of batting can be very dangerous for Punjab, and he's a left-hander, he can change the entire scenario of the game in initial overs. And once you are ahead in first 10 overs, I think in T20, the way the trend is going, you take lead and you can make the control of the match. So we all are waiting that Rishabh should score today, because his batting, it's a treat to watch. He's such a fantastic left-hander, and he has his own style of hitting shots with one hand and scooping the ball. He's treat to watch, and we all are waiting that he should score today.
Thank you, Anil. We move on to our second question. Anil, LSG has dominated head-to-head against the Punjab Kings. Do you think this comparison, this head-to-head, actually comes into play when we have this kind of a tussle at the early on games?
And as we know that matches between LSG and Punjab, Lucknow is ahead as per records, and this kind of dominance will give a lot of confidence to the team, and all these factors, they help in T20 matches, because team has more confidence, and it helps overall to take some initial advantage before the game, because all these teams, coaching staff, the whole setup of those who are helping the team or those who are playing, they also all affected by all these factors. But again, T20, you never know. And Punjab is good now with Iyer and Ponting combination. They are doing well, and they are much better side now. So we are hoping that Punjab and Lucknow match will be very close, and we'll see a last over finish today.
Well, it's the home ground of Lucknow. Do you think LSG will do something special, or they're good enough on their own to handle Punjab at their background?
It's a away game for Punjab, and Lucknow will be more familiar with the conditions because they are practicing on this ground, home ground. That advantage is always there. So I think their power play bowlers should be bowling with good and line and length, because batting of Lucknow is dangerous in power play also, because once you control the power play, things are slightly better. So bowling of Punjab, especially the fast bowlers, they should take control of their batters, because all these batters of Lucknow up to middle order like Marsh, Rishabh Pant, Makram, then dangerous Puran, followed by Miller. Long batting lineup. Unless they bowl well, it is difficult to control Lucknow's batting. It looks it will be a good high scoring game. And if Punjab is bowling first, it will be slightly better for them. So toss can be crucial for Punjab. So all these factors are very, very important. So power play is very important to Punjab bowlers. If they bowl well.
Thank you, Anil. That you heard Anil Chaudhary, one of the great umpires of the game, who's now retired and has taken the active commentary stint. Of course, we are now moving on to a great fast bowler from Zimbabwe. His name is Christopher Mufofu. Remember, Mufofu has been a part of the Legends League circuit across the world in the last few years. But again, I welcome him on the show. Christopher, the battle between Yuzvendra Chahal and Rishabh Pant is getting intense. Yuzvendra Chahal has dismissed Pant on 3 occasions. Do you think it'll play on his mind when he faces Chahal?
So Yuvendra Chahal, once again, is the man that I'm bringing up. Chahal versus Aiden Makram. For me, Chahal has been on top, should I say. When you look at the head-to-head record between these two gentlemen, you're talking about 17 balls from Chahal to Aiden Makram, and he's only scored 22 runs. He's quite a good player. He's improved a lot in his play against spin, but when you look at his record against Chahal, I still feel like it's not above where he would want to be. He's bowled 17 balls, has scored 22 runs, and you're talking about taking him out once, but you're talking about those balls, yes, that's quite a lot. That's 17 balls, scoring 22, so that's about just above 6 runs and over. When you're looking at dot balls, 4 dot balls, he's hit him 1-4 and 1-6 out of that, dismissing him once with a strike rate of 129. An average of about 22. So it's another one that I see as a good contest, but I see Chahal being the one that comes on top in this contest between these two. So also still looking forward to seeing how Aiden Makram is going to go about today when he faces Chahal, if he does manage to face him. So another good contest that we are looking forward to, the Punjab versus LSG. Great match that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Thank you, Christopher. We move on to another head-to-head battle, and this time it's between Shreyas Iyer and Shardul Thakur. Of course, Shreyas Iyer has dominated his head-to-head player battle against LSG pacer Shardul Thakur, who got him out on 3 occasions. Will the concern of LSG informed skipper versus the informed bowler Shardul Thakur remain? What's your opinion on this today?
So Shreyas Iyer versus Shardul Thakur. This is going to be an exciting contest for me. Why do I say so? You have Iyer also on the other side, who has been batting very well, but he has dominated Shardul Thakur before this game. As you know, also that Shardul Thakur also wasn't bought straight away in the auction. He's one person that had to come in for someone who got injured, but he has been doing tremendously very well for LSG, and that confidence for me is going to be a booster to Thakur. But when you look at head-to-head between these two, for me, I'll say that Iyer is the one who has been winning it a little bit comfortable. Why do I say so? He has bowled about 35 balls to Iyer. Iyer scored about 55 runs out of that contest, and he's bowled about 11 dot balls in those 35 balls, and he's hit him about 4 fours with about 3 maximums. Strike rate of 157, an average of 55. So that average for me, it's posting a lot. He's only dismissed him once when you look at that. So for me, that contest is going to be a fairy one. Once only. So I'm not so sure whether that will play in Thakur's mind. But for me, if I was Thakur, I will not even be worried, because why I say so, he has been bowling well. So at the end of the day, you just need that one good ball to to dismiss your opponent. So at this moment, if I was Aya, I'll say to myself at the same time is that I have dominated this man before. I have a boasting average against him, which is about 55. That's quite a lot. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a new game, a new day. Shadu Taku is bowling tremendously and being picked later in the auction. For me, he has nothing to lose when it comes to this game. So I'm looking forward. Taku, I see him coming on top on this one. I know it hasn't been good, him bowling to Aya, but I see Shadow being the man today.
Well, when you talk about head-to-head battle between Punjab and Lucknow, you can't keep Chahal away from Aiden Markram in head-to-head. Will it force LSG to make a special plan with the top order, facing the most expensive spinner and someone who's taken the most number of wickets, Yuzvendra Chahal?
So you have the Punjab Kings versus LSG. And on LSG side, you have Yuvendra Chahal versus Rish Pant, the LSG captain. For me, this is a contest to watch out for, and I'm sure is going to be a thrilling one. And when you look at these results head to head between these two, Chahal has bowled about 59 balls to to reach Papant, and he has scored about 83 runs. And remember also he has taken him up about 3 times. For me, that it shows that there is always a heated up contest, should I say. About 21 dot balls and 3 times, that's still quite a lot. And you're talking about 59 balls that he has bowled, almost 60 balls. So you're talking about almost 10 overs of Chahal bowling to the man, the captain of LSG, that is Rish Pant, and you're talking about 21 dot balls out of those 59 balls. But the strike rate for me is the one thing that I see, and it's very convincing. And I say to myself that yes, he has taken him 3 times out of those 59 balls, but the strike rate is still up there. And talking about 140 for me in T20, that's quite a lot. 6 sixes out of that, and 4 4. So he has more sixes than fours. That is Arish Papan. So for me, this is going to be a contest to watch out for. But what I love here also from Chahal is that as much as the strike rate is up from Rich Papant, he's still taking him out. You're talking about 3 times out of those 59 balls. So for me, this is going to be a contest to watch for if they manage to bowl to each other. So I'm looking forward to this wonderful contest from these two.
Well, that's what you heard it from all our 4 expert panelists talking very minutely about last night's game and also what to predict in the game today. Well, that's all we had time for. This is Sunil Yash Kalra signing off from the Marbella Resorts, very close to the ICC headquarters in UAE, and thanking all our stars. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial.
Yeah.